The marble floors of Riverside Institute of Technology gleam under the afternoon sun, streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. This is a temple of knowledge where tuition costs $80,000 per year, and every surface whispers privilege. Dr. Elena Frost, 36 years old, strides down the corridor like she owns it, because in many ways she does. Her Valentino heels click with authority. Her emerald blazer is tailored perfectly. 3 framed degrees from Cambridge hang in her office like battle trophies. She is mathematics royalty, and she knows it. She pushes open the double doors to Lecture Hall B with unnecessary force, her arms loaded with research papers. 70 graduate students immediately snap to attention. This is her kingdom. Today, Elena announces, her voice cutting through the silence like a conductor's baton, we tackle Brennan's conjecture. This problem has defeated mathematicians for 30 years, but not us. Not today. She begins writing on the massive chalkboard, her movements precise and theatrical. Equations bloom across the surface like elaborate graffiti. The students frantically scribble notes, terrified of missing a single symbol. That's when the door opens again. James Mitchell enters, pushing a gray maintenance cart loaded with cleaning supplies. He's 39, wearing the Institute's standard gray custodial uniform. His face shows the kind of weathered dignity that comes from years of being invisible to people who matter. Elena doesn't turn around. We're in session. Come back later. I apologize, Dr. Frost, James says quietly. The schedule indicated this room was available for cleaning at 3 p.m. Now Elena turns, irritation flashing across her perfect features. Does this look like an empty room to you? No, ma'am. I'll come back. Yes, you will. This is advanced theoretical mathematics, not... She waves dismissively toward his cart. Whatever it is you do. A few students snicker. Someone pulls out a phone. James nods and begins backing out. But his eyes, just for a fraction of a second, catch on the chalkboard, on the equations, on line 7 specifically. His expression shifts almost imperceptibly. A slight furrow appears between his eyebrows. Elena catches it. Is there a problem? No, ma'am, You just what? Elena's tone has shifted from dismissive to dangerous. She senses entertainment. Please enlighten us. Do you have something to contribute to our discussion of multivariable calculus and topological field theory? The room is now completely silent. Every phone is out. This is too good. James hesitates, a man who has learned when to speak and when to stay invisible. But something in him, something old, something buried, refuses to stay quiet. Line 7, ma'am. When you apply the differential operator to that manifold, the Christoffel symbols, I think there might be a sign error. The silence is deafening. Then Elena laughs, not a polite chuckle, a full theatrical laugh that echoes off the walls. A sign error. You think I have made a sign error. She turns to her students. Did everyone hear that? Our custodian has found a flaw in my proof. The laughter spreads like wildfire. Students are doubled over. Someone shouts, "That's going on TikTok." But Elena isn't done. This is too perfect. This man needs to be taught a lesson about his place in the world, about what happens when the help forgets where they belong. She strides to the board and erases a section. In its place, she writes a new equation. It's monstrous. A problem that combines elements from 3 different branches of mathematics. The kind of problem that appears on doctoral qualifying exams and makes graduate students cry. It's the centerpiece of her own PhD thesis. It took her 3 months, countless sleepless nights, and 2 breakdowns to solve. Elena turns, chalk dust on her fingers, victory already glowing in her eyes. Very well, Mr. Mitchell, James Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, since you're such a mathematical genius, solve this. She taps the equation. Right here, right now, in front of everyone. She pauses and then inspiration strikes. The perfect viral-worthy twist. And when you solve it correctly. Her smile is cruel, predatory. I'll marry you. The room absolutely explodes. Students are shouting, laughing, recording. Someone's live stream notification pings. Then another. Then 50 more. This is going viral in real time. But when you fail, Elena continues over the noise, you'll get on your knees, you'll apologize for wasting everyone's time, and you'll never speak to me or interrupt my classes again. Deal? She extends her hand, mocking formality. James looks at the equation on the board. His face is unreadable. 10 seconds pass. 20. 30. Elena's confidence grows with each silent moment. As I expected, some people simply don't have the capacity. May I use the board? James asks quietly. Elena blinks. Excuse me? May I use the chalkboard to show my work? For the first time, genuine uncertainty flickers across Elena's face. You're serious. James sets down his cleaning supplies. He walks to the board with measured steps. He picks up a piece of chalk, tests its weight in his hand like a craftsman checking his tools. And then he begins to write. The first line appears, then the second. His handwriting is precise, methodical, confident. He's not guessing. He's not fumbling through half-remembered formulas. He's solving. Elena's smile begins to fade. By line 3, she's moved closer to the board. By line 6, her hand has moved to her mouth. By line 9, she's whispering, "That's not possible." Because James isn't just solving the problem. He's using techniques that shouldn't be accessible to someone without years of graduate-level training. He's employing a variation of Ramanujan's partition method. He's invoking Tanaka's unpublished work on topological invariance, work that Elena herself only knows about because she's on the peer review committee. 4 minutes and 37 seconds after he began, James sets down the chalk. The solution is complete, elegant, perfect, more refined than Elena's own solution from 8 years ago. He turns to face the stunned lecture hall. The answer is 47 pi divided by the natural logarithm of the golden ratio. When reduced to standard form, that's approximately 23.6614. He pauses, his eyes meeting Elena's. You were right about line 7 in your original proof, by the way. I was mistaken. The sign was correct. It was line 9 where the error propagated through. Easy mistake to make when you're working at this level. The lecture hall is silent. 70 students sit frozen, phones still recording, minds struggling to process what they just witnessed. James turns back to Elena. His voice is gentle, without a trace of mockery. As for your proposal, Dr. Frost, I'm honored, but I'm a traditional man. Maybe we should start with coffee. Get to know each other properly. That's when the room detonates. Students are on their feet, shouting, applauding, their phones held high. The live stream viewer count has exploded past 50,000 and climbing. Academic Twitter is already melting down. And Dr. Elena Frost, Cambridge-educated Fields Medal nominee, genius mathematician, stands frozen in the center of her own lecture hall, her entire worldview crumbling like chalk dust. Because the janitor she just tried to humiliate didn't just solve her impossible equation. He solved it better than she did. The question burning in everyone's mind, including Elena's, is devastatingly simple. Who the hell is James Mitchell? Act 1. The world cracks open, 2:30 to 1500. Within 20 minutes, the video has 4 million views. Within an hour, it's trending number 1 on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Hashtag Janitor Genius. Hashtag Marry the Janitor. Hashtag Professor Humbled. News outlets are already cutting segments. Harvard-level mathematics solved by custodian. Story at 11. In her pristine corner office, Elena sits behind her mahogany desk, hands trembling as she scrolls through her phone. Every notification is a knife. OMG, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Professor got destroyed. That janitor is literally smarter than every professor I've had. Someone give this man a PhD immediately. Her office door flies open. Dr. Marcus Chen, the department chair, strides in. He's 60, gray-haired, normally unflappable. Right now, he looks like he might have a stroke. Elena, my office, now. Marcus, I can explain. The Board of Trustees is calling. CNN wants a statement. We have 12 different universities trying to identify this janitor so they can recruit him. And you offered to marry him on a viral live stream watched by 8 million people. Elena's voice is small. It was a joke. I never thought that he'd solve it. That's obvious. But now we have a problem. Marcus leans against her desk. That equation, that was your doctoral thesis, the cornerstone of your career, and he solved it in 5 minutes. 4 minutes and 37 seconds, Elena whispers. Even worse. Marcus sighs. The university wants damage control. They want you to issue an apology. An apology? Elena's pride flares. For what? For maintaining academic standards? For expecting people to know their place? For humiliating someone on camera who just proved he might be smarter than you? The words hang in the air like poison. Marcus continues, softer now. Elena, I've known you for 10 years. You're brilliant, but you're also arrogant. And today, that arrogance bit you in a way that the entire world witnessed. He heads for the door, then pauses. Find out who he is, before someone else does. Meanwhile, 3 floors below in the basement maintenance office, James Mitchell sits in front of his dented locker, still in his uniform. His hands are steady as he drinks lukewarm coffee from a thermos. His coworker, Tommy Rodriguez, bursts through the door, phone held high. Bro, you're famous, 12 million views. The news is calling you the genius janitor. This is insane. James doesn't smile. Tommy, I need you to do me a favor. Anything, man. You're a legend. I need you to not tell anyone anything about me. Where I live, where I'm from, nothing. Tommy's excitement dims. Why? This could be huge for you. James looks at his friend with tired eyes. Because I have reasons for being here. Good reasons. And fame is the last thing I need. Before Tommy can respond, James's phone buzzes. Unknown number. Against his better judgment, he answers. Mr. Mitchell, a woman's voice, professional. This is Dr. Sarah Chen from MIT's mathematics department. I just watched your video. I need to know, where did you study? Who was your advisor? I'm sorry, Dr. Chen. I'm not interested in... We'd like to offer you a full scholarship, PhD program, full funding, housing stipend. Thank you, but no. Mr. Mitchell, please, at least tell me. James hangs up. The phone immediately rings again. Stanford, then Princeton, then Harvard. He turns it off. Tommy stares at him. Dude, what are you doing? Those are dream offers. Not for everyone, James says quietly. He stands, grabs his jacket, and heads for the door. He has somewhere he needs to be, somewhere more important than all the universities in the world. The Ronald McDonald House sits 15 minutes from campus. It's a temporary home for families with sick children, painted cheerful colors that can't quite hide the heartbreak within. James signs in at the desk and climbs the stairs to room 312. Inside, a little girl lies in bed, surrounded by stuffed animals and medical equipment. She's 8 years old, thin from treatment, her hair growing back in patches. But her eyes, bright green, intelligent, light up when the door opens. Daddy! Lily Mitchell tries to sit up too fast and winces. James is at her side instantly. Easy, Firefly, easy. He sits on the edge of the bed, and she burrows into his arms with the desperate strength of a child who doesn't take moments for granted. Did you have a good day? She asks. James smiles. Interesting. How about you? How was treatment? Dr. Patel says I'm responding well. But Daddy... Her voice gets small. I heard the nurses talking. The next phase costs a lot. James's jaw tightens. You let me worry about that. How much? Lily ... How much, Daddy? He sighs. $240,000. The number sits between them like a boulder. Lily is 8, but she's spent enough time in hospitals to understand what that means. That's why you work 2 jobs. That's why I do what needs to be done, James corrects gently. And it's working. We're going to get you better. I promise. Lily looks at him with eyes too old for her face. Mom would be proud of you. James's breath catches. She'd be proud of you. You're the bravest person I know. A knock at the door interrupts them. A nurse pokes her head in. Mr. Mitchell, Dr. Patel would like to see you before you leave. James nods. He kisses Lily's forehead. I'll be right back. Watch another episode? 2 episodes? 1.5. Deal. In Dr. Patel's office, the news is what James has been dreading. The experimental treatment is working, Dr. Patel says, her kind face lined with concern. But we need to move to phase 3 within 6 weeks. If we wait longer, we risk losing the progress we've made. 6 weeks, James repeats hollowly. I know the cost is substantial. I've applied for every grant, every charity program. But ultimately... She trails off apologetically. James does the math in his head. His janitor salary, his weekend tutoring jobs, the savings account he's bled dry. Even working every hour he's physically able, he'll maybe reach $40,000 in 6 weeks. He's $200,000 short. Dr. Patel hands him a folder. There's one more option. The Riverside Institute is hosting the Blackwell Mathematics Prize next month. It's a competition for the world's best mathematical minds. The prize is $250,000. James stares at the paper. Mr. Mitchell, Dr. Patel says gently, I don't know your background. I don't know why you're working as a custodian, but after what I saw on the news today, you have a gift. Maybe it's time to use it. James doesn't answer. He takes the folder and leaves. That night, in his tiny apartment 2 bus rides from the hospital, James sits at a kitchen table covered in medical bills. The folder from Dr. Patel sits unopened beside them. On the wall, barely visible in the dim light, hangs a framed photograph. A younger James wearing academic regalia, standing between 2 people, a distinguished older man in professor's robes and a beautiful woman with green eyes. Below it, a yellowed newspaper clipping. MIT prodigy James Mitchell, youngest ever recipient of Kepler Award. He's the future of mathematics, says department chair. The article is dated 12 years ago. James's phone buzzes. Against his better judgment, he looks. An email from Dr. Elena Frost. Subject, we need to talk. Mr. Mitchell, I'm sure you're receiving many messages. I'll be brief. I owe you an apology. My behavior today was unprofessional and cruel. You demonstrated extraordinary mathematical ability, and I responded with mockery. But I also need to know, who are you? No one solves problems at that level without serious training. No one uses Tanaka's unpublished methods by accident. If you're willing, I'd like to speak with you, not as a professor to a custodian, as one mathematician to another. The Blackwell Prize competition begins accepting applications tomorrow. I'm the head judge. I'm not supposed to say this, but you should enter. Elena Frost. James stares at the email for a long time. Then he opens the folder from Dr. Patel. The application for the Blackwell Prize stares back at him. $250,000. Enough to save Lily's life. But entering means exposure. Questions. His past dragged into the light. He looks at the photograph on the wall, at the young man he used to be, at the woman with green eyes, Lily's mother, gone 5 years now from the same disease ravaging their daughter. In his mind, he hears her voice. Do whatever it takes. Save our girl. James picks up a pen and begins filling out the application. Act 2. The Collision of Worlds, 15 to 35. The Riverside Institute Mathematics Department holds its weekly faculty meeting in the ornate conference room, where equations from famous mathematicians decorate the walls like sacred texts. 12 professors sit around the table. At the head, Dr. Marcus Chen looks like he hasn't slept. Let's address the elephant in the room, he begins. The viral video, the janitor, the marriage proposal. Every eye turns to Elena. She sits with perfect posture, her armor of professionalism back in place. I've issued a public apology, Elena says crisply. I've made a donation to the Custodial Staff Appreciation Fund. You've made us look like elitist fools, interrupts Dr. Raymond Pike, a tenured professor who's resented Elena's rapid rise for years. That video has 40 million views. The university is being eviscerated online for employing a mathematical genius as a janitor. We didn't know, Elena starts. That's the problem. Raymond slams his hand on the table. We have someone brilliant mopping our floors and none of us noticed. What does that say about us? It says, Dr. Yuki Tanaka speaks up. Yes, that Tanaka, the one whose work James cited, that we judge people by their credentials instead of their capabilities. An uncomfortable silence falls. Marcus clears his throat. There's more. James Mitchell has applied to the Blackwell Prize competition. The room erupts. He can't. What are his qualifications? This is a serious academic. His qualifications, Elena interrupts quietly, are that he solved my doctoral thesis problem in under 5 minutes. What are yours? Everyone stops. I'm the head judge, Elena continues, and unless someone can give me a legitimate academic reason to reject his application, he's in. Raymond leans forward. Elena, this isn't about charity. The Blackwell Prize attracts the top 20 mathematical minds in the world. Doctoral candidates from Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, people who've spent decades training. You want to put a custodian in that arena? I want to put a mathematician in that arena, Elena corrects. What he does for a living is irrelevant. Is it? Raymond's voice drips with skepticism. Or is this guilt? Your way of making up for humiliating him? Elena's eyes flash. The application is accepted. Meeting adjourned. She stands and walks out, leaving stunned silence in her wake. 3 days later, the Blackwell Prize competitor list is announced. 20 names. 19 are exactly what you'd expect. PhDs, postdocs, professors from elite institutions, credentials that read like a greatest hits of academic achievement. And then, James Mitchell, independent researcher. The internet loses its mind. Academic forums explode with debate. Is this a publicity stunt? Is the competition compromised? Some defend the decision. Let his work speak. Others predict disaster. He'll be destroyed. The media circus intensifies. News vans park outside the institute. Reporters ambush faculty. Everyone wants the story of the mysterious janitor. But James Mitchell remains invisible. He works his shifts. He visits his daughter. He doesn't give interviews. He doesn't engage. Elena, meanwhile, is drowning in second-guessing. In her apartment, a sterile, modern space that looks like a furniture catalog, she sits with a glass of wine she's not drinking, staring at her laptop. On the screen, James Mitchell's application. It's sparse. No attached CV. No publications list. No letters of recommendation. Just the required work sample. A proof of a moderately difficult theorem. But it's the way he proved it that keeps Elena awake. The elegance, the efficiency, the almost casual brilliance. Like watching a master pianist play a simple scale and realizing they're operating on a completely different level. She opens a private browser and searches, James Mitchell mathematician. Nothing relevant. James Mitchell, MIT. One result catches her eye, an archived faculty page from 12 years ago. James R. Mitchell, doctoral candidate, advisor, Professor Robert Garrison. Her breath catches. Robert Garrison, the Robert Garrison, one of the most legendary mathematicians of the last century. He only took on students he believed were generational talents. Elena clicks deeper. An old MIT newspaper. Rising star James Mitchell, awarded Kepler Prize. Once in a generation, says Garrison. The photo shows a young man, maybe 27, receiving a medal. The same eyes, the same expression. What happened to him? She searches more. The trail goes cold around 12 years ago. No publications after his Kepler Prize, no completed dissertation, no graduation announcement. James Mitchell simply vanished from the academic world. Elena's mind races. What could make someone with that much promise disappear? Before she can stop herself, she's picking up her phone. Hello? James's voice is cautious. He doesn't recognize the number. Mr. Mitchell. It's Elena Frost. A pause. Dr. Frost, I didn't expect to hear from you directly. I wanted to personally inform you that your application has been accepted. You'll be competing in 3 weeks. Thank you. An awkward silence stretches. Can I ask you something? Elena says, her professional veneer cracking slightly. You can ask. I found an old MIT faculty page. James R. Mitchell, Kepler Prize winner, studied under Robert Garrison. Is that you? The silence on the other end is answer enough. What happened? Elena asks softly. Why did you leave? That's not relevant to the competition. Maybe not, but I'm trying to understand. James's laugh is bitter. You want to understand? Fine. I left because life doesn't care about your potential. I left because my wife got sick and died, leaving me with a baby daughter who inherited the same disease. I left because staying in academia meant she'd die while I chased proofs. So I got a job with good health insurance and flexible hours. I chose her life over my career. That's what happened. Elena feels like she's been punched. Mr. Mitchell, Is there anything else about the competition you need to discuss? No, I'm sorry. For what? 12 years ago or 3 days ago? He doesn't wait for an answer. Good night, Dr. Frost. The line goes dead. Elena sits in her perfect apartment surrounded by her perfect achievements and for the first time in years feels the hollow echo of a life spent alone in pursuit of being right. 2 weeks before the competition, the Blackwell Prize competition structure is announced. 3 rounds over 2 days. Round 1, written examination. 6 problems, increasing difficulty. Top 10 advance. Round 2, presentation. Competitors present original research. Top 5 advance. Round 3, the Blackwell Challenge. A single legendary level problem revealed for the first time. Solve it in 3 hours. The media coverage is unprecedented for a mathematics competition. The Janitor genius story has captured public imagination in a way that pure academics never do. James becomes a reluctant folk hero, the underdog, the working-class savant taking on the ivory tower. Someone starts a Twitter account, at Justice for James. It gains 200,000 followers in 3 days. But the academic establishment is less charmed. An op-ed in Mathematical Review by Dr. Raymond Pike. The Blackwell Prize has become a circus. Mathematics requires rigor, training, and years of dedication. Viral fame is not qualification. We're setting this man up for public humiliation, and it's cruel. The article goes viral for different reasons than intended. The comments section explodes. Translation: how dare someone without an Ivy League degree be smarter than us? This is exactly the elitism that needs to die. Let him compete and prove it. Elena reads the article in her office and feels sick. Raymond is positioning this as concern, but she knows better. He's protecting the gate, the academic hierarchy, the unspoken rule that brilliance must come with the right pedigree. She thinks about James's voice on the phone. I chose her life over my career. How many others like him exist? Brilliant minds ground down by circumstance, invisible because they lack the right credentials? Her phone rings. It's Marcus. Elena, we have a problem. What now? The Board of Trustees. They're concerned about the competition's integrity. They're suggesting we require all competitors to present their academic credentials for verification. Elena goes cold. That's not in the rules. They want to change the rules. They want to disqualify James. They want to protect the university's reputation. By proving Raymond's article right? By admitting we only value people with the right paperwork? Marcus sighs. Elena, I'm on your side, but I need you to be sure about this. If he fails publicly, it'll be catastrophic for everyone. And if he wins? That's what they're afraid of. That night, Elena does something she hasn't done in years. She goes to a bar. Not a wine bar. Not a faculty lounge. A real working-class neighborhood bar 3 miles from campus. Neon signs and scratched tables and the smell of fried food. She sits at the bar in jeans and a sweatshirt, feeling like an anthropologist studying a foreign culture. Whiskey. Neat. The bartender raises an eyebrow at her but pours. Elena is halfway through her drink when she notices the TV above the bar. Local news, a segment about the Blackwell Prize. Underdog story capturing hearts worldwide. James Mitchell, the janitor turned mathematical phenom, faces his biggest challenge yet. But some question whether viral fame equals actual ability. That's such bullshit. Elena turns. The woman next to her, maybe 50, wearing a hospital nurse uniform, is glaring at the TV. The man solved an impossible equation, the woman continues. But because he mops floors, he's not good enough? I've been a nurse for 30 years. I've got 4 certifications. But doctors still treat me like I'm furniture. Same story, different profession. It's not the same, Elena says reflexively. The nurse looks at her. Isn't it? You think he's less smart because he wears a janitor uniform instead of a suit? I didn't say that. You didn't have to. The nurse throws money on the bar and leaves. Elena sits alone with her whiskey, the words echoing. You think he's less smart because of what he wears? She remembers the look on James's face when she told him to leave her lecture hall, the quiet dignity, the way he tried to help anyway. And she remembers her own words. Unless you have a PhD hiding under that mop. She orders another drink, 1 week before the competition. James receives an envelope at work, expensive paper, university letterhead. Inside, a formal invitation to a competitor's reception the night before the competition. Black tie, meet the judges, the sponsors, the media. Tommy reads over his shoulder. Fancy. You gonna go? I don't own a tuxedo. Dude, you gotta go. Open bar, free food, rich people crap. James looks at the invitation. There's a handwritten note at the bottom. Please attend. There are people who want to meet you properly. EF. The reception is held in the Institute's grand ballroom, all marble columns and chandeliers. Waiters circulate with champagne. String quartet in the corner. The men wear tuxedos. The women wear gowns that cost more than James's monthly salary. James stands at the entrance in a rented tux that fits poorly. He feels like an imposter. A waiter offers champagne. James takes it but doesn't drink. Mr. Mitchell. He turns. Elena Frost stands before him in a midnight blue gown, her hair swept up, looking like she stepped out of a magazine. Dr. Frost. An awkward beat. You came, she says. You asked. I wasn't sure you would. After our last conversation. James's expression softened slightly. You deserved honesty. I'm sorry if I was harsh. Don't apologize. I deserve that too. Elena gestures to the room. Would you walk with me? There are people you should meet. She guides him through the crowd. James is aware of every eye tracking them. Whispers follow like a wake. That's him. The janitor. Doesn't look like much. Elena leads him to a small group near the windows. An elderly Asian man turns, and James stops breathing. Professor Tanaka, Elena says, I'd like you to meet James Mitchell. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the man whose unpublished work James cited, extends his hand with a warm smile. Mr. Mitchell, I've been hoping to meet you. Your solution used my partition method, a paper I haven't even published yet. I'm very curious how you accessed it. James shakes his hand, starstruck. Professor Garrison shared an early draft with me, years ago. when I was his student. Tanaka's eyes widen. You studied under Robert. Then my God, you're that James Mitchell, the Kepler winner. Robert talked about you constantly, said you had the most intuitive mathematical mind he'd ever seen. That was a long time ago. Talent doesn't expire, Tanaka says firmly. Robert passed away 2 years ago. I know he'd be proud to see you here. James feels the words like a physical blow. Garrison is dead. The man who believed in him, gone. I didn't know, he whispers. He never stopped asking about you, Tanaka continues gently. He understood why you left, family first, but he always hoped you'd come back. He gestures around. This would make him smile. James excuses himself, blinking hard. Elena follows him to a quiet balcony. Are you all right? James grips the railing. Professor Garrison was the only person who ever saw me, really saw me. Not where I came from or what I looked like, just what I could do. He sounds like a good man. He was. He took a chance on a kid from nowhere. Gave me a full ride to MIT when other schools wouldn't return my calls. James looks at her. He taught me that mathematics doesn't care about your pedigree. It only cares if you're right. Elena is quiet for a moment, then, I'm sorry. For judging you, for treating you like you were less than. You're not the first, won't be the last. That doesn't make it right. They stand in silence, the party noise muted behind them. Can I ask you something? Elena says. Why enter the competition? You've stayed hidden for 12 years. Why now? James pulls out his phone and shows her a picture. A little girl in a hospital bed, smiling despite the tubes and machines. Her name is Lily. She's 8. She has the same genetic disorder that killed her mother. The experimental treatment that might save her costs $250,000. He looks at Elena. The Blackwell Prize is exactly that amount. It's not about pride or proving anything. It's about my daughter's life. Elena's carefully constructed composure cracks. James, Don't pity me, just judge me fairly. That's all I'm asking. Before Elena can respond, Dr. Raymond Pike appears in the doorway. Elena, the board would like to speak with you, and Mr. Mitchell. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. How convenient that you're both here. The meeting happens in a private room off the ballroom. The Board of Trustees, 5 wealthy donors who fund the university, sit on one side of a long table, Elena and James on the other. The chairman, Charles Westbrook III, speaks with the entitled assurance of inherited wealth. Mr. Mitchell, we've reviewed your application. We have concerns. Such as? James asks evenly. You have no completed degree, no published research in over a decade, no academic affiliation. The Blackwell Prize is the most prestigious mathematics competition in North America. We need to ensure our standards. You want to disqualify me, James interrupts. Uncomfortable glances exchanged. We want to protect the competition's integrity, Westbrook continues. Perhaps a preliminary qualifying exam to verify. To verify what? Elena stands abruptly. That he can solve doctoral-level problems? We've already seen that. Dr. Frost, this isn't personal. It absolutely is. You're changing the rules midstream because the wrong kind of person applied. The wrong. Elena, be reasonable. No. Her voice is steel. I'm the head judge. I accepted his application according to the published criteria. If you disqualify him now, I resign, publicly, and I'll tell everyone exactly why. The room goes silent. Raymond Pike stands. Elena, you're being emotional. I'm being ethical, something this board seems to have forgotten. Westbrook stares at her, then at James. Mr. Mitchell, do you have anything to say? James stands. When he speaks, his voice is quiet but carries absolute authority. I don't need special treatment. I don't need accommodations. Just let me compete. If I'm not good enough, the mathematics will prove it. And if I am," he pauses, "then maybe you need to question what you think good enough looks like." He walks out. After a long moment, Elena follows. Outside, James is halfway down the hall when Elena catches up. "James, wait." He turns. "What you did in there, standing up to them. Thank you." "I didn't do it for you." "I know, but still." She hesitates. "Can I ask you something else? If you win, the money goes to Lily's treatment. But what about after? Would you ever come back? To mathematics?" James considers this. "I don't know. For 12 years, I've just been surviving, keeping Lily alive. I haven't thought about after because I wasn't sure there'd be one." "There will be," Elena says with surprising certainty. "You're going to save her, and then you're going to have a choice about who you want to be." "Who do you think I should be?" "Whoever makes you happy. But," she smiles slightly, "the world needs more mathematicians who remember that equations exist to serve people, not the other way around." James almost smiles back. "Is that what you believe?" "It's what I'm starting to learn." They stand in the hallway, the party continuing without them, two people from completely different worlds finding unexpected common ground. "Good luck tomorrow," Elena says. "Thank you for everything." As James leaves, Elena watches him go, feeling something shift in her chest. Not love, not yet, but respect, admiration, and something that feels dangerously close to hope. Act 3. The Battle. 35 minutes to 52 minutes. Competition day 1 dawns cold and clear. The examination hall is set up like high-stakes standardized testing. 20 desks perfectly spaced, cameras capturing every angle, live stream audience approaching 2 million people worldwide. James arrives early wearing simple clothes, jeans, a button-down shirt. No pretense. The other 19 competitors look like they're attending a job interview at Goldman Sachs. Suits, briefcases, the armor of academic achievement. Dr. Marcus Chen takes the podium. "Welcome to the Blackwell Prize competition. You represent the finest mathematical minds from 14 countries. Over the next 2 days, you'll face challenges designed to test not just your knowledge, but your creativity, intuition, and perseverance." He explains the rules. 6 problems, 4 hours, show all work, no collaboration, no technology. The top 10 scores advance to round 2. Good luck. The exam packets are distributed. James opens his. Problem 1, a number theory problem involving prime distribution, graduate level. He finishes in 11 minutes. Problem 2, a topology problem about manifold classification. He recognizes it as a variation of Thurston's geometrization, solved in 18 minutes. Problem 3, a combinatorics problem involving graph colorings, tricky. He takes 29 minutes double-checking his work. Around him, competitors are moving at different paces. Some fly through early problems. Others are already stuck, chalkboards filling with false starts. Elena watches from the judges' table, her eyes repeatedly drawn to James. His approach is different from the others, less mechanical, more organic, like he's having a conversation with the mathematics. Problem 4, a real analysis problem involving measure theory and Lebesgue integration. This is where the difficulty spikes significantly. James stares at it for 5 minutes without writing anything, just thinking. Then he begins. His approach is unconventional, using geometric intuition to simplify what others are attacking with pure algebra. In the live stream chat, is he even doing it right? That method doesn't look like anything I learned. Either he's a genius or completely lost. Problem 5, a partial differential equations problem with boundary conditions. Doctoral thesis level difficulty. The room has gone quieter. Competitors are showing strain. One woman puts her head in her hands. A man from Cambridge has given up, staring at the ceiling. James is still writing. His face shows concentration, but not panic. Problem 6, the killer. a problem that combines elements from multiple branches of mathematics, the kind of question where even understanding what's being asked requires expertise. 2 hours remain. James reads it 3 times. Then he does something unexpected. He closes his eyes. For 3 full minutes, he sits motionless while competitors around him frantically scribble. Elena leans forward. What is he doing? Then James opens his eyes and begins to write. Faster now, with the confidence of someone who's seen the entire path. When time is called, the exhaustion in the room is palpable. Exam packets are collected. Competitors stumble out, comparing notes. Problem 6 was impossible. I ran out of time on 4. I know I got 3 wrong at least. James slips out quietly, avoiding reporters camped outside. The judges reconvene in a private room. 20 exams spread across a massive table. Each judge is assigned problems to grade blind. No names, just ID numbers. Elena draws problems 3 and 6. She works through competitor 003's solution to problem 3. Solid, correct, textbook approach. Then competitor 014, also correct but more creative. She reaches competitor 019. The solution is stunning, not just correct but elegant, the kind of proof that makes you angry you didn't think of it first. Unnecessary complexity stripped away. The essence of the problem laid bare. She checks the ID against her roster, James Mitchell. Of course. She moves to problem 6, the killer. Of the 20 exams, 14 competitors didn't attempt it. 3 attempted but failed. 2 got partial solutions. 1, competitor 019, has a complete flawless solution. Elena reads it twice, then a 3rd time. When the judges reconvene to compile scores, the results are clear. Top 10 advancing to round 2. Competitor 019, James Mitchell, 98 out of 100. Competitor 007, Dr. Sarah Nakamura, Cambridge, 94 out of 100. Competitor 014, Dr. Anton Volkov, Moscow State, 92 out of 100. Competitor 003, Dr. Jennifer Wu, Harvard, 91 out of 100, and 6 others. Dr. Raymond Pike stares at the scores. This can't be right. Elena looks at him coolly. Check the work yourself. He does. His face darkens. He actually solved 6. Yes, better than anyone else here. It's one day, Raymond mutters. Exams are different from original research. Then I guess we'll find out tomorrow. That night, James doesn't go home immediately. He goes to the Ronald McDonald house. Lily is asleep when he arrives, but she wakes at the sound of the door. Daddy, how did it go? He sits on her bed. I made it through round 1. Of course you did. You're the smartest person I know. I don't know about that, Firefly. I do. The whole internet knows. She holds up a tablet showing news coverage. You're famous. I'd rather be invisible. Why? It's a simple question, a child's question, but it cuts deep. Because, James says slowly, when you're invisible, people can't hurt you. They can't take things away. Lily touches his face with her small hand, but they also can't see how amazing you are. James hugs her carefully, mindful of her tubes and monitors. Promise me something, Lily whispers. Promise you'll win, not for the money, for you, because you deserve it. I promise to try. No, promise you'll win. Lily dash. Promise. He looks into her determined green eyes, her mother's eyes, and feels something crack open in his chest. I promise. Competition day 2, round 2, 10 competitors. Each presents original research, 20 minutes, then questions from the judges. The presentations are all impressive. Cutting-edge work in various fields. These are the best young mathematicians on the planet. Dr. Sarah Nakamura from Cambridge presents work on quantum field theory. Brilliant. Dr. Anton Volkov discusses breakthrough work in chaos theory. Revolutionary. Dr. Jennifer Wu from Harvard has developed a new approach to cryptographic security. Stunning. Then it's James's turn. He steps to the podium carrying a single folder. No laptop, no fancy slides, just a handwritten presentation. My research, he begins, started 12 years ago and was never finished. It's about pattern recognition in seemingly random systems, specifically medical diagnostic algorithms. Elena leans forward. This is unexpected. I became interested in this because my wife was misdiagnosed 3 times before doctors found the genetic disorder that eventually killed her. Each misdiagnosis cost time she didn't have. The room is silent. I started exploring whether mathematical pattern recognition, the kind we use for weather prediction or stock markets, could be applied to medical diagnostics, to find diseases earlier, to save time. He begins writing equations, not for show, because the mathematics demands it. What follows is 20 minutes of the most compelling mathematical presentation Elena has ever witnessed. James isn't just showing proofs, he's showing purpose. Mathematics as a tool to solve real human problems. When he finishes, the room erupts in questions. Dr. Tanaka, your diagnostic algorithm, have you tested it? James, not clinically, I don't have the resources or credentials for medical research. Raymond Pike, almost accusingly, this is applied mathematics. The Blackwell Prize traditionally honors pure theoretical work. James meets his eyes. Mathematics that doesn't serve humanity is just intellectual masturbation, pretty, but pointless. Gasps, scattered applause. Raymond turns red. Elena hides a smile. The presentations conclude. Judges deliberate. Top 5 advancing to final round, James Mitchell, Dr. Sarah Nakamura, Dr. Jennifer Wu, Dr. Anton Volkov, Dr. David Park, Stanford. The final round is announced for tomorrow, the Blackwell Challenge. As competitors leave, Elena catches James. That presentation, your diagnostic algorithm, it's remarkable. It's unfinished, like me. No, Elena says firmly. It's brilliant. And whether you win or not, that research deserves to be completed and published. I'm not a researcher anymore. You never stop being one. You just put it on hold. She pauses. Professor Garrison would be proud. James's eyes shine. Thank you. Final day. The Blackwell Challenge. 5 competitors. 1 problem. 3 hours. The auditorium is packed. Live stream viewership has exploded to 5 million people. This has become a global event. Dr. Marcus Chen stands at the podium. The Blackwell Challenge is a tradition spanning 50 years, a single problem created by a committee of the world's top mathematicians designed to test everything: knowledge, creativity, intuition, persistence. He unveils the problem on a massive screen. It's horrifying, a monster that combines number theory, topology, and analysis, the kind of problem that makes doctoral candidates cry. You have 3 hours. The competitor with the best solution, not necessarily complete, but showing the most insight, wins $250,000 and the Blackwell Prize. Begin. 5 whiteboards. 5 competitors. Dr. Nakamura starts with a topological approach. Dr. Wu attacks it with number theory. Dr. Volkov uses dynamical systems. Dr. Park employs category theory. And James stares at the problem. 5 minutes pass. 10. 15. He hasn't written anything. In the audience, Lily sits with her nurse. She's been allowed to attend. Against hospital recommendations, but she insisted. She watches her father with complete faith. Elena watches too, anxiety building. Why isn't he writing? 20 minutes. James finally picks up the chalk, but he doesn't start solving. He starts drawing? He draws a simple picture, a tree, with branches. Then he begins writing beneath it. His approach is unlike any of the others. He's not attacking the problem head-on. He's looking for the hidden structure beneath. The roots under the tree. 30 minutes in, Dr. Volkov makes a critical error and has to restart. 45 minutes. Dr. Park realizes his approach won't work and switches strategies, losing valuable time. 1 hour, Dr. Nakamura has a promising partial solution. 90 minutes. Dr. Wu has advanced further than anyone, but she's hit a wall. James is still building his foundation. His whiteboard is half empty compared to others. In the live stream chat, people are worried. He's too slow. He's going to run out of time. The tree picture doesn't make sense. 2 hours pass. James suddenly stops, stares at his work, and then his eyes light up. He sees it. The structure beneath the structure, the pattern everyone else missed because they were too focused on the technical details. The final hour becomes a blur of chalk and motion. James is writing faster now, building up from his foundation. Every line connects. Every step flows naturally from the last. Dr. Elena Frost, watching from the judge's table, feels her breath catch. He's not just solving it. He's revealing something beautiful. 15 minutes remain. Dr. Wu has the most complete solution, but she knows there are gaps. Dr. Nakamura is close but has run out of time to verify her final steps. The others are stuck. James is still writing. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute. Time, Marcus announces. James sets down the chalk and steps back. His solution covers the entire whiteboard. But unlike the others, which look like dense forests of symbols, his has clarity, structure, flow. The judges confer for 30 minutes while the audience waits in agonizing silence. They examine each solution carefully. Dr. Wu's is technically strong but incomplete. Dr. Nakamura's shows great insight but has logical gaps. The others, while impressive, fell short. Then they reach James's solution. Elena reads it once, then again, then a third time. Dr. Tanaka is beside her. This is... My God, Elena, this is extraordinary. He solved it? He did more than solve it. He revealed the underlying structure. Look, Tanaka points. He's shown that this entire class of problems can be approached this way. He hasn't just answered the question. He's created a new tool. Raymond Pike examines it, his face going through emotions, skepticism, surprise, reluctant admiration, and finally, resignation. It's correct, he admits quietly. Not just correct, brilliant. The judges vote, unanimous. Dr. Marcus Chen returns to the podium. The auditorium is so quiet you could hear a heartbeat. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our winner. The pause feels eternal. The Blackwell Prize and $250,000 goes to James Mitchell. The auditorium detonates. Lily is on her feet, crying and cheering. The audience roars. The live stream explodes with celebration. James stands frozen, unable to process. Elena approaches him, smiling genuinely for the first time in days. Congratulations, Mr. Mitchell. You've earned this. Thank you. There's one more thing, she says, her voice carrying a note of mischief. I believe I made you a promise, in front of witnesses. James blinks. What? I said if you solved my equation, I'd marry you. The microphone catches her words. The audience goes wild. I'm a woman of my word. She's joking, mostly. But there's something real beneath the humor. How about we start with that dinner? James suggests, smiling for the first time in what feels like years. I'd like that very much. Epilogue. 52 minutes to 65 minutes. 3 months later, Lily Mitchell's experimental treatment is fully funded. The procedures begin immediately. Dr. Patel is cautiously optimistic. The treatment is working even better than we hoped, she tells James during a follow-up. Lily's responding beautifully. If this continues, she'll be able to live a completely normal life. James has to sit down, the weight of 12 years of fear and struggle suddenly lifting. The Blackwell Prize victory changes everything. MIT offers James a full professorship, not as a student, but as faculty. Princeton follows, Stanford, Cambridge. But the most unexpected offer comes from Riverside Institute. Dr. Marcus Chen sits across from James in his office. We'd like to create a new position, Chair of Applied Mathematics. Your diagnostic algorithm research would be the cornerstone, full funding, lab, research team, and he slides over a paper. We're establishing the Mitchell Fellowship, full scholarships for brilliant students from non-traditional backgrounds. No one else should have to mop floors while having genius-level ability. James is speechless. Also, Marcus continues, Dr. Frost requested to work on your research team. If you're comfortable with that. James smiles. I think I am. 6 months later. Lily is in remission. The experimental treatment worked. She's back in school, thriving, living the normal childhood James thought she'd never have. At his new MIT office, small but his, James writes on a whiteboard. The diagnostic algorithm is taking shape. A team of medical researchers and mathematicians collaborate with him. There's a knock on the door. Elena enters carrying coffee and a folder of research papers. Ready to work? She asks. Always. Their relationship has evolved slowly, professional first, then friendship, and now something more. Not the viral marriage joke, something real, built on mutual respect and shared purpose. They work together for hours, debating, laughing, challenging each other. As evening falls, Elena asks, Do you ever miss it? Being invisible? James considers this. Sometimes. Invisibility was safe, but it was also lonely. And Lily, she needed to see that fighting for what you deserve is worth it. You've changed things, you know. Applications to math programs from non-traditional students are up 40%. People are questioning academic elitism. That article Raymond wrote criticizing you, the journal retracted it and published your response instead. James laughs. I didn't even write a response. I know, your existence is response enough. 1 year later, the James Mitchell Center for Applied Mathematics opens at Riverside Institute, state-of-the-art facility, fully funded, dedicated to research that serves humanity, not just academic prestige. The opening ceremony is packed. Dr. Yuki Tanaka gives the keynote. Mathematics is not a tower to climb, it's a bridge to build. James Mitchell understood this when many of us forgot. He reminds us that genius can emerge from anywhere, and our job as educators is not to guard the gates, but to open them wider. James takes the stage. Lily sits in the front row, healthy and radiant. A year ago, James begins, I was invisible, working night shifts, raising my daughter, solving equations in margins of maintenance logs. Today, I stand before you not because I'm special, but because someone gave me a chance when I didn't fit the mold. He looks at Elena, sitting with faculty. Dr. Elena Frost could have kept me locked out, could have maintained the hierarchy. Instead, she chose to see what was actually there, not what she expected to see. That takes courage. That takes humility. That's the kind of mathematician, the kind of person we should all aspire to be. The applause is thunderous. After the ceremony, James and Elena walk through campus. Students pass, some recognizing him, some not. Strange being visible, James muses. You're handling it well. I had a good teacher. Elena stops walking. James, can I ask you something? Always. That joke about marrying me. If you could go back, knowing everything that would happen, would you still solve that equation? Would you still speak up? James thinks about the humiliation, the struggle, the public battle, the transformation. Every time, he says, because it led to this, to Lily being healthy, to this center, to... He pauses. To us. Elena smiles. Then I suppose we both won something. What did you win? Perspective, humility, a reminder of why I fell in love with mathematics in the first place. She takes his hand, and possibly the best research partner I've ever had. Just research partner? For now. She grins, but I'm a patient woman and I always keep my promises. Eventually. They walk together across campus, two people from different worlds who found common ground in the universal language of mathematics, and maybe, just maybe, in something even more universal. Final scene. 2 years later, the Mitchell diagnostic algorithm is in clinical trials at 15 hospitals. Early results show a 35% improvement in early detection of rare genetic disorders. Lily Mitchell, now 10, gives a presentation at her school's science fair. Her project, How My Dad Used Math to Save My Life. She wins first place. That night, James receives an email. It's from a janitor in Oregon. Subject, I have a GED and a theorem. The email describes a mathematical conjecture about prime number distribution. The work is rough, unpolished, but buried in the amateur notation is a spark, a genuine insight. James writes back, "Tell me more. I'd like to see your work." Because he remembers what it's like to be invisible, brilliant, and unseen. And he's spent the last 2 years making sure no one else has to feel that way. Final title card. Genius isn't about where you come from. It's about whether anyone bothers to look. The Mitchell Fellowship has awarded scholarships to 247 students from non-traditional backgrounds. Dr. Elena Frost and Dr. James Mitchell were married in 2027. They continue to work together, proving that the best equations solve for more than just X.